As we investigate this deadly rampage on our nation's military and on our own soil, the threat of terror hits home for many Americans. Joining us right now with his reaction is Dr. Sebastian Gorka, the Major General Matthew Horner Distinguished Chair of Military Theory at the U.S. Marine Corps University. Dr. Gorka, thank you very much. What do you make of what happened yesterday in Chattanooga?
Well, the first thing I'll say is it's not what the Secretary of Defense called it, which was a senseless act of violence. Ash Carter is absolutely wrong. This is a very logical, rational part of the global jihadi movement's assault on America and everything that is good. If you look at the last few years, we've had the attacks in Sydney, in Ottawa, in Paris, in the UK. This is the trend that we have to get prepared for. And the idea that we can't protect ourselves, this is the front line. The events happening in ISIS territory 8,000 miles away, that's part of the story. But the front line of this war is here on American soil as well.
And in a lot of ways, isn't it online too? I mean, how come after 14 years we haven't found a way to combat this thing online? What are we doing and how does it stack up?
This is the heart of the matter. Deploying forces or using airstrikes in the region against ISIS, that's a small part of the equation. We're only going to win this war when we take down their ideology. The idea that jihadism is cool, from the streets of Paris right down to Syria and Iraq. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface of the counter-ideological war. The State Department's website, Turn Back and Look Away, has only 11,000 Twitter followers. ISIS has 21,000 social media platforms, not just followers. So in the 14th year of the war, it would be great to start attacking the ideology and not saying, well, we don't know what this is, and it could be terrorism, it could be Islamic. No, this is a 14-year-old war, and we have to start talking truthfully about it.
But we believe in the freedom of speech, so what do we do? Do we take down these platforms?
No, we have to use human intelligence, just like the NYPD did an amazing job after 9/11 because New York is such a big target. You penetrate local communities. You use the people in the communities to help identify potential radicals. All the stuff that de Blasio has shut down in the last couple of years, that's how you win this war, by pushing the fight into the communities and identifying people before they go radical.
And Dr. Gorka, to go deeper in what you're saying about social media, let's look at what the U.S. government is actually saying on these platforms. That full quote from Ash Carter: "My thoughts and prayers, along with those of the men and women of the Department of Defense, are with the families of those killed in this senseless act of violence. The department will continue to work with local law enforcement as they investigate this heinous crime." It's not just local law enforcement, it's the FBI taking the lead, looking at this as domestic terror, number one. But number two, senseless act of violence. I remember the White House a few months ago having a summit on violent extremism. Do these words matter?
Oh my gosh, it is not violent extremism. It is global jihadism. It's a very special kind of violent extremism, and we have to talk about it honestly. Imagine if in World War II, we're about to storm the Normandy beaches, we tell our troops, don't say the word Nazi because you could offend some Germans. That would be insane. You can't allow politics into the threat assessment, into our intelligence cycle. You have to talk truthfully about it, or we will, your children, my grandchildren, we will be fighting jihadis 100 years from now unless we take the fight to them on the ideological plane where they're mobilizing all these people like this 24-year-old jihadi.
Unfortunately, there are too many politics involved on this side of the Atlantic. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, we thank you very much for joining us with your unique perspective.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.